Hello everyone, this is Lynette with the Skin Candy. Thank you so much for joining me again today on another one of our Soapy Time adventures. Today this soap is going to be a remake of our Raspberry Tangerine. It has been a good while since I made this soap for a number of reasons. The main reason is that trying to get this particular fragrance back in stock for me has been a complete and utter nightmare. The original company that I bought this from was, right here, I have completely forgotten to put my gloves on, so I've run over and grabbed my gloves. So I am not going to get any lye on me. Lye burns are not that fun, and I don't know why that day I did not have my gloves on, because I usually have my gloves on for everything. Anyway, this company, I am going to mention their name. It's called Ohio Fragrance Company, and they came out and had the most wonderful fragrances. Their customer service was great. They shipped really fast. Their prices were amazing. Shipping was not, out of control like a lot of companies are doing nowadays. And they had maybe been around for maybe a year, and then we as soapers started seeing a supply chain issue. They weren't getting product in, things were constantly out of stock, one of them being this wild raspberry and tangerine fragrance oil. We had many issues keeping it in stock, and as soon as they would get it in stock, I would order. And then January of 2025, actually it was Christmas of 2024, this is how long I've been dealing with this problem. They said that the product was out of stock, would be coming back in January of 2025. Waited, never came back in stock. Then they announced that they were going to be closing their doors, that they were going to be selling through what they had, and then they were going to be closing their doors. But they were going to be releasing, at the time they did release an email stating, or on a Facebook post or something, that they were going to be releasing the companies where they got their fragrance oils from. Because I think there was something going on in the family, which I understand, family comes first. Health issues, a sickness, something was going on, and that they just couldn't keep up with the company. And I totally understand that. And I loved that they were being transparent. They were being very forthcoming with what was going on. And so we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and nothing came to pass. No list, no nothing. So I started contacting them through their contact form on their website. No response. Sent them a Facebook message. No response. Sent them probably 12 Facebook messages. No response. Instagram messages, no response. They have completely stopped communicating with everybody. And it was becoming a real problem, because we as soapers are trying to figure this out of what we're going to do. This is one of my most popular fragrances. Anyways, fast forward, I found a company that carried something similar. It was from the candlemakersstore.com. I will leave a link to their website down below in the description box. And we were able to get some in. I don't think it's the exact fragrance. It doesn't smell as fruity. It smells a tiny bit artificial, but it's still a pretty good seller. So, talking about this soap, the colors I used were Tangerine Dream and Flash Dance from Mad Micah's. This is a goat's milk soap, and I had already put the kale and clay, the colloidal oats, and the goat's milk powder into my mix before I added my lye water. And the lye water was a little frothy. That's because it had just been made, and I think that container I used may have had a tiny bit of like soap residue in it, because it doesn't usually get foamy like that, but it did. But it worked fine. There was no problem. This fragrance oil does tend to accelerate a little bit, and rice. This new scent that I have from this new company doesn't seem to accelerate as much, but it does still rice. But with this being a palm oil recipe, I was wanting to be very careful. I did not want it to seize on me. I believe the last batch I made was very ricey, and was very thick. So this turned out wonderful. The smell is amazing. I do love the color morphing. You will see this in a minute. I used the remaining amount of my micas. My Flash Dance mica, if you can see right there, it's kind of a purpley pink. And the Flash Dance mica mixed in oil before saponification, before mixing it into the soap batter, is this quite a dark purple. And then the orange actually looks, once I get it mixed in, it actually looks a little bit yellow. But I did not add any yellow to it whatsoever. So I do love the color morphing that happens when you're using micas and with the chemical process of cold process soap making. So I've just added the top. I'm adding my signature gold mica to the top of that as well. I will leave a link to all of these in the description box below so you guys can go and get those. These are all by Mad Micas. They are my #1 source for micas. I have used several other different companies, and I just keep going back to Mad Micas. And maybe they all get them from the same place. I don't know. But I really do love Mad Micas. I love that they are ethically sourced. I love that they are a woman-based business. They are located in Florida. And I just love all the aspects of the small business and want to support them as much as I can. So we're finishing up the top of this. I'm just going to do a very basic swirl. And then I'm going to put some glitter on it. I don't know why I keep trying to use this glitter sprayer. I probably just need to get a new one and move on with my life. But this gold glitter sprayer does not like to spray out. Maybe the gold glitter is just too thick. I do not know. But excuse me. I grabbed another one, ended up putting a little bit of some silver glitter on here, which ended up turning out beautiful. So this ends up being a beautiful loaf of soap, and you will see in a minute. I'm going to be doing some more explaining about the Ohio Fragrance Company in the cutting part of this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed the making of this, and we're going to go on to the talking portion of this video in just a second. Hello everyone, we're back to cut the raspberry and tangerine. I know that the video that I did a voiceover. We just had a lot going on in the shop that day. We had bath bombs being shrink wrapped and made, and we had lotions that were being poured, and there was just so much going on that I just knew that I couldn't talk during the video. So that's what the voiceover was for. So my thoughts on this soap was, as I explained in the voiceover, this is Raspberry Tangerine. The original was by a company called Ohio Fragrance Company, and they've just gone, I can't even explain what's going on with them, because they said they were going out of business, and they said they're going out of business, but they keep releasing new stuff, but they won't let anybody know where they're getting some of their products that have been out of stock for almost a year. One of them was this wild raspberry and tangerine. I found this raspberry and tangerine through another company, and I don't even remember who it's through. Candle. I did show it, but it's really tiny, so let me tell you what it is. It's called candlemakersstore.com. The Candlemaker Store. The candlemakersstore.com. And they are also out of Ohio. And it acted about the same, so it makes me wonder if this is actually coming from the same company. It did rise a little bit. It did accelerate trace, but not horribly. Not to where I was worried about it. Using the additional water has helped. So again, thank you for those who suggested that I do more water. I had never had that problem before with my other soaps until I added Palm, and now I just need to add more water. So I don't feel like it smells the same. There's a really fresh, bright note to the wild raspberry and tangerine when I smell it compared to this one from the Candlemaker Store. And that could just be in my brain. But
because I am using additional water, I am getting a little tiny bit of soda ash. This one wasn't so bad. The other one that I did that had a ton of soda ash, which was the Black Sea, I'm looking at it right now and I'm thinking I want to go over it again with the with my steamer, because the fact that it still looks really great. It was supposed to be black and white and navy blue, and the white seems to have gone a gray color. I guess we'll see what happens when I cut open that one, but that's for another video. So I know it's hard to see on overhead, but I just steamed the top to make that kind of nice and shiny. So we will come back to cut this once this is completely dried. So we will see you in just a few seconds. Hello everyone, it's Lamp with the Skin Candy. Don't mind the mess too. I guess it'd be to the right of you. It is a Saturday morning and I decided I was going to come down here and get this soap cut. So you saw me steam the top, and then life took over and I didn't get it cut that day. In fact, I didn't even get it cut the next day, or maybe even the next day. I don't even remember when I steamed the top for these, but these have been sitting for several days, and we are going to cut them now because I need to get them on the tray so I can get them beveled and stamped and in boxes. So I'm going to grab my cutter. I'm going to grab my slab cutter as well, and we're going to get this started. So I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I do not have a better angle of me taking off the paper and all that stuff. But I only have one camera, and that's just the way it is. Alright, we're gonna slab cut this. And this has been like the most wonderful way to do this. I don't really know why I wasn't doing this earlier. Ooh, so far, yummy. And I was thinking about this the other day about making these big slabs, and I thought, when I make the big slabs, I don't get to make soap as often. However, I'll get a little bit closer. I am so busy now that I don't even have time to make soap as much as I would like, which is sad. But I need to get in a routine where I can have my soap on a schedule of when I make it. Let me clean up my nose just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, and now I need to grab a soap tray. So I'll be right back with that. I'm not very prepared today. All right, that is the cutting of the Raspberry Tangerine. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure that you like, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on any one of our Soapy Time adventures. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate the comments and the feedback that I get. I do really enjoy engaging with you guys and getting to know people throughout the world and throughout the country. And I am really happy to have you guys a part of my life. So go do something fun today. Go serve somebody. Take a plate of cookies to your neighbor. I don't know, do an extra jig in the shower, whatever makes you happy. So until next time, we will see you later. Bye.